Part C of item 1 was requiring us to find out the date in the future on which they would buy feeds and balance their books of accounts. Remember, the scenario was telling us that the last time that they bought feeds and balanced their books of account was 1st March. So now it was requiring us to find another date in the future when the two events are going to collide, when they will take place again together. But then in order for us to find the next date in the future when they will buy feeds and balance their books of accounts, the first thing that we need to do is to identify the cycles, simply meaning the intervals in which they are buying feeds and balancing their books of accounts. So that's the first thing that we are going to do. We are going to find out the cycles in which the two activities are carried out. So the feeds are bought every 7 days and books are balanced every 15 days. So these are the cycles or the intervals in which the two activities are taking place. Having identified the cycles as 7 and 15, we now have to find the LCM of 7 and 15. So that means that when we get the LCM of 7 days and 15 days, we are going to come up with the number of days after which the two activities are going to take place. So having identified 7 and 15, the next thing that we now have to do is to find out the LCM of 7 and 15. To find out the LCM of 7 and 15, we are going to use the ladder method. So when using the ladder method to find out LCM, we have to look for the lowest number that can divide any of the two numbers. For instance, here we are having 7 and then we are having 15. So we have to look for a digit, the smallest digit that can divide either of the two numbers, either 7 or 15. So for this instance, we cannot use 2 because 2 cannot be completely divisible by any of the two numbers. However, we can use 3. So 15 divided by 3, we are going to get 5. But 7 divided by 3 is not completely divisible, so we are going to maintain the 7. And the next number obviously can't be 4, but instead it's going to be 5. So our next number here is 5. Then 7 divided by 5, it's not completely divisible, so we are going to maintain the 7. However, 5 divided by 5, we are going to get 1. And then lastly, we shall now divide by 7. 7 divided by 7, here we have 1, and then here we have 1. So our LCM will be got by multiplying 3, 5, and 7. So our LCM here will be equals to 3 times 5 times 7. So what do we get when we multiply 3 times 5 times 7? Let us put it into our calculator here. So when we get 3 times 5 times 7, what we are getting is 105. So 105 is in days. So our LCM here is 105 days. What does that mean? This means that the two activities, that is to say buying feeds and balancing books of accounts, is going to take place again after 105 days. But our task was not to find after how many days. The task was specifically requiring us to find out the next date. The next date on which they are going to buy feeds and they are going to balance their books of accounts. That means that after figuring out the LCM as 105 days, we have to add 105 days to 1st March, because 1st March is the date on which the last bought feeds and balanced books of accounts on the same day. So what are we doing next? We are adding 105 days to 1st March. We are going to do this number manually. We are not just going to get 105 days and then we just add it like that to 1st March. But I want you guys to pay close attention to the way that I'm going to work out this number here. What we are going to do is that we are going to add 105 days to 1st March in a way that we are going to be breaking 105 days into the number of days of the corresponding upcoming months that follow March. So we are simply going to identify how many days are found in the month that is coming after March, and then after we remove that number of days from 105 days. You may be confused by what I'm saying, but pay attention and watch how we are going to do this number. So March has 31 days. So the days remaining in March are 30 days. In order for you to do this number, you have to be able to identify how many days are found in each of the months that are going to follow March. For those of you that don't know how to identify the number of days in a month, there is a simple method of using knuckles. Let me show it to you here, whereby the knuckles represent the days of the month that have The knuckles represent the days of the month that have 31 days. Meanwhile, the spaces between the knuckles represent the months that have 30 days, apart from February, that obviously has 28 days and 29 days, depending on the type of year. So we are seeing here that our March has 31 days, then April has 30 days, May has 31 days, June has 30 days, and so forth. So using the knuckle method, you can easily identify how many days are found in each month of the year. So now, with that being said, let us continue to working out our number. So I was saying earlier that we have to add 105 days to 1st March, but the way that we are going to add the 105 days to 1st March is that we are going to be removing from 105 days the number of days that align with the number of days found in each of the months that follow March. It may sound confusing, but when you watch me working it out, it is going to look very easy. So now here we are having 1st March. 1st March is what we are adding these days to. So now we are seeing that from 1st March, the month of March is not yet over, not so, but the books were balanced and feeds were bought on 1st March. But then the month of March has 31 days. That means that there are still 30 days remaining in the month of March. And remember, the number of days that we want to add to 1st March are 105 days. So let us put our 105 days on our right hand side here. So here on our right hand side, we are having the 105 days. 105 days. So now our first addition here will be 1st March plus the 30 remaining days in the month of March. So when we add here 30 days to 1st March, we are going to end up with 31st March. So now that we have already added 30 days onto 1st March, we remove those 30 days from 105 days. So now here we shall have 105 days minus 30. So what will this one give us? This one is obviously going to give us 75, not so? So now the next month that follows the month of March is the month of April. Am I right? Now the month of April has 30 days. So we are having here April. April has 30 days, not so? So now what are we going to do? We are now going to get here 31st March plus the 30 days of April. When you add 30 days to 31st March, you're going to end up here with the 30th April. 30th April. So now what are we going to do? Now that we have added 30 days onto 31st March, we come here on our right hand side and we remove those 30 days from 75, because at first we have already removed 30 days from 105 and then we added it onto 1st March to complete the number of days in the month of March, and then we remained with 75 days. Now from 31st March, we added the 30 days found in the month of April. So now when we add the 30 days found in the month of April on our left hand side, we have to remove it from 105 days on our right hand side. So now when you get 75 minus 30, you are going to remain here with 45. Now what is our next month? Our next month after the month of April is May, not so? But now the month of May has 31 days, not so? So now what are we going to do? Right now we are having 30th April. So we are going to add 31 days to 30th April. So now we are having here 30th April plus 31. What are we going to get here? We are going to get here 31st May. That when you add 30 days to, when you add 31 days to 30th April, you're going to end up with 31st May. So now we remove the 31 that we've added onto May from 45, because now right now on our right hand side we are remaining with 45 days. So we shall have here 45 minus 31, which is equals to 14. So we are remaining with 14. This 14 is coming from the fact that we have removed 31 from our 105 here from our right hand side, and we've added it onto the month of April. So now when we add 31 onto the 30th of April, we remain with 31st May, not so? So now our next month is the month of June. But now the month of June has 31 days. It has 30 days. The month of June has 30 days. But then we are seeing that here on our right hand side we are only remaining with 14 days. So we are simply going to add the 14 days onto 31st May. So now when we get our 31st May plus 14 days, we are going to have here 14th June. So now we have completed adding 105 days onto 1st March. But the way that we have added 105 days onto 1st March is by simply breaking it into the number of days of the upcoming month. I hope that you guys have understood. For me, this is how I worked out this number here. It may look a little bit confusing, but when you pay close attention and you try to review it, you're actually going to find out it is very easy. So that means that they are going to buy feeds and balance their books of accounts again on 14th June. I want to repeat this one more time because I know this might be looking a little bit confusing, but it is not. Just pay attention, you're going to get it. So I was telling you that we have to add 105 days to 1st March. But the way that we are going to add the 105 days onto 1st March is by breaking 105 days into the number of days of the upcoming month. That from 1st March we added 30 days. The reason as to why we are adding here 30 days is simply because from 1st March the month of March is still remaining with the 30 days. It is not yet over. So now we are adding 30 days onto 1st March to complete the month of March. So when we add 30 days onto 1st March, we end up here with 31st March. Now that we have already added 30 days onto 1st March, we have to remove those 30 days from 105 days. That is our first breakage. We have broken 105 and we have removed 30 from it, and we have added this way. And then we realize that now the upcoming month after the month of March is April. And now the month of April has 30 days. So what are we going to do? We have to get the 30 days of April and we add them onto 31st March. Now when we get 31st March plus the 30 days of April, we are going to end up with 30th April. Now because we have added the 30 days of April onto March, we have to subtract them from what is remaining on our right hand side. Remember, we are remaining here with 75, having removed 30 here. So we shall now get 75 minus the 30 days of April, and we remain here with the 45. Now the next month after the month of April is May. And remember, right here we are having here 30th April, and then the month of May is having 31 days. So we have to get the 31 days of May and we add them onto 30th April. So when you get 30th April plus the 31 days of May, we shall have here 31st May. And because we've added the 31 days on our left hand side, we have to subtract them from what we are remaining here with. And here we are remaining with 45. So we subtract the 31 days from 45 because they have been added onto the month of April from our left hand side. And then we remain here with 14. And now because we've added 31 days onto 30th April, we get now 31st May, the next month. But now our month that follows May is June, and June has 30 days. But we are only remaining with the 14 days on our right hand side. So what do? We just add those 14 days onto 31st May. So when we get 31st May and we add the remaining 14 days onto 31st May, we are going to end up with 14th June. These 14 days fall into the next month of June. So that is how I was simply breaking down this number so that we can do it manually. It has looked kind of complicated, but it's not actually that hard if you paid close attention. But then there are other people who would use the method of assuming that a month is made up of 30 days. If you're to use that method, you're going to realize that the answer you're going to get will be 15th June. Those assumptions, sometimes they are marked, but since it's new curriculum and they want to test the brain of learners, I think the most accurate answer was 14th June. But for learners who can state before answering the question that assuming a month is equals to 30 days, if you put there that assumption and then after you work out your number and you get 15th June, I think there is a possibility that you can be marked. So thank you so much for listening to me. I once again want to remind you, if you've not yet subscribed to the channel of Mastering Competence, you are making a mistake, because you don't want to miss out on the new videos that are going to be released on this channel. So please smash that subscribe button. Click on the like button, because we are trying to reach out to many students as possible. So please like this video, subscribe to our channel please, and endeavor to share with your friends. Share with your friends, your relatives who are also in secondary schools, so that they can access the content on this channel and we can excel together. So thank you so much for listening. May God bless you. Meet you next time on our next video. If you like the content, I want to tell you once again, please subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss any other next video of the items that we shall be solving on this channel. So this is a review of what we've done today. We've solved item 1 of UNEB, item 1 of UCE 2024, and these are the answers that we were able to come up with. So please don't forget to smash that like button, click on the subscribe button, share our video please with all your friends and relatives, so that we can be able to reach out as many candidates and secondary students as possible. Thank you so much. I remain Patrick Oliver.